Most sites will start with a head element, but there are a couple things I want to do before the head. First, Bootstrap, as well as HTML5 boilerplate, requires that you start off by declaring a doc type, so that's what I'm doing. Next, because there is a before HTML hook in the Theme Hook Alliance, I'm adding the THA before HTML hook. Immediately following that is the HTML tag, which pulls in the language and text direction based on the WP lang setting in the wp-config.php file. This is done with the language attributes function, whose sole purpose is to take care of this for you. It's a requirement for themes to support the language attributes function if they are being submitted to WordPress.org. Language attributes takes one optional parameter, which is the doc type, either HTML or XHTML, and defaults to HTML if nothing is passed. Then we open the head tag, followed by the Theme Hook Alliance THA head top hook, which I add before anything else in the head. Here, the character set gets defined using bloginfo charset, and we specify that we want to be supporting the latest version of Microsoft Internet Explorer available with the user agent value to the HTTP equiv meta attribute. Now I'm getting the theme option settings with the getOption function. This time I'm concerned with the site title value. If the site title has been set to false, I'm going to link the header image to the site home like a logo or header banner, so I set up a link in a before and after variable. If it's not false, meaning we are displaying the site title, I set those variables to null. I do the same sort of thing with the fixed nav and the navbar inverse settings. If the navbar has been set to fixed, I'm giving the fixed nav variable a value which will be added to the body classes later. Otherwise, it stays at null. If navbar inverse has been set to true, I give that variable a value of navbar inverse, which gets passed to the navbar later. If not, it gets the navbar default value. Next, I do the title with WP title. This looks simple, but it's actually being filtered in the functions.php to be more complex than it looks. If we flip over to the functions file and we take a look at ap-core WP title, you can see that the title gets passed through the filter, but we end up not using it. Instead, the actual title is modified based on what page you're on through a series of page checks: is home, is category, which returns the category name, is single, is page, is 404, and finally a default if none of those are the case. This defines the first part of the title, which gets the site description added to it at the end. Then the new title is returned. Using a filter on the WP title hook allows other plugins to declare their own title filters to use instead. Finally, right above the WP head tag, we add the Theme Hook Alliance THA head bottom hook. This hook should be directly above WP head, so that WP head is the last thing before closing the /head HTML tag. Many plugins expect WP head to be executed last, so we need to respect that behavior when supporting the Theme Hook Alliance hooks. Now I can start adding the HTML for the header inside the body tag.